boy Tim Marching Mark, stage 9, A Night in Town. Run, shouted Beth. The dragon's coming this way. Beth, Chip, and Nanina were on adventure. The magic key had brought them to a land where there were dragons. The children sprinted towards the castle. Behind them, a huge dragon roared and raged. They reached the castle just in time. They crawled through the gate wooden door, and some men quickly pushed it shut. The children heard a roar from dragon from the other side. The door will keep any dragon out, screamed one of the gatekeepers. I don't think so, said Anina. It's a wooden door, and dragons breathe fire. Oh, said the man, I didn't think of that. There haven't been any dragons here for years, explained another gatekeeper. Usually they stay far up the mountains. The children heard a clanking sound behind them. A group of knights in armor were walking towards the door. The biggest knight held his helmet under one arm. You can leave the dragons to us now, he told the gatekeepers. What are you going to do? Asked Chip. The biggest knight glanced down at the three children. Battle the dragon, of course, he moaned. That was nice too. Percy is not afraid of anything, said the other knight, pointing at the big knight. Anina looked worried. The dragon's scary, but I hope the knight won't hurt it, she said. I don't want to see that. Don't worry, said Beth. Look, the magic key was glowing in her hand. But the adventure isn't over yet, Chip explained. Percy had his helmet on now, ready for battle. As he walked towards his horse, he bumped into Chip. To stop him from falling, Chip reached out and grabbed Percy's arm. At that moment, the magic whisked the children home. You're back home before the end of the adventure, complained Chip. That doesn't usually happen. There's something else unusual too, said Anina. Biff and Chip turned and saw a big suit of armor. Then the armor moved. Percy lifted his helmet off and stared down at the children. What strange magic is this? He demanded. He looked around. And what is this nightmarish place? Biff was shocked. All she could say was, this is my bedroom. Downstairs, Keeper was making cookies with Gran. Mom and Dad were away, so Gran was looking after the children. Chip came to the kitchen door. Gran, can you help us, please? Gran saw how worried Chip was. Is everything okay? She asked. Before Chip could answer, Percy hidden behind them. A knight, cried Keeper in surprise. Percy blew towards Gran. Then he asked, are you the ruler of this strange land? Gran was just as surprised as Keeper, but she hid well. Yes, she said, I am. Gran led everyone into the living room. Sit there, she told Percy. And don't let your armor rip the sofa, please. She turned to the children. Now tell me exactly what happened. When they had finished, Gran scratched her head. You're right, she said. This is very unusual. Suddenly, the oven timer peaked in the kitchen. Percy leaped up, ready for battle. Sit back down, Gran told him. That sound just means the cookies are ready to eat. She went to the door. Biff and Chip, can you come and help me, please? In the kitchen, Gran whispered, it's very important that we don't let anyone else see Percy. What would people think even a real knight in armor? You just have to keep him here until the key glows again. Anina and Keeper were not sure what to say to Percy. The knight sat silently on the sofa. Let's watch television, suggested Keeper, clicking the remote control. When he saw the television, Percy's eyes opened wide and shut. Who trapped those tiny people in your magic mirror? He demanded. I will just turn the television off, said Keeper quickly. Percy jumped up. She said, I have enough of this terrible place and its strange magic. I must go back where I belong. I will battle any army to find my way home. I'll slay any dragon. There aren't any dragons here, said Alina kindly. Just then, a loud rumble from outside made the window shake. A big truck drove past with a yellow digger on the back. A dragon, shouted Percy. He clanked towards the front door. When Biff, Chip, and Grant heard all the shouting, they came running. Where's Percy? asked Chip. He's gone, said Keeper. He ran outside, added Alina. He went chasing after a digger. He thinks it's a dragon. They all hurried to the front door. There was no sign of Percy on the street. We better catch up with him before he gets into any trouble, said Grant. I bet that digger was going to the town square, said Chip. They're building a new library there. The children and Grant set off. Through the corner they saw a man in a black helmet. Excuse me, said Biff. Have you seen a knight in armor? Yes, said the cyclist crossly. He made me run up my bike. Then, when I stopped, he grabbed it and ran off on it. Grant and the children hurried on, and until at last they saw a building site. Look, said Chip, pointing. The workers are unloading the digger from the back of the truck. But I can't see Percy anywhere. Where is he? Suddenly, a loud boy from across the road bellowed, Get ready to meet your doom, foul beast. Percy was sitting on the bike and straight right at the digger. On one hand, he waved a colorful umbrella. That's our umbrella, said Chip. Percy set off towards the digger, holding the umbrella out like a sword. He moaned a bit at first, but soon he was getting faster and faster. The children waved their arms. Slow, shouted Beth, that isn't a dragon. Percy had not learned how to use brakes. When he saw the children, he waved the bike away from them and bumped right into the crop. Be careful, shouted Chip, but it was too late. Percy landed with a loud clap. Percy sat with his hand on his head. I just wanted to go home, he said grimly. I think you're in luck then, said Alina with a smile. Show him, Biff. Biff held the magic key, which had begun to grow friendly again. On the way home, Grant made sure that Percy took the bike back and said sorry. By the time they reached the house, the magic key was growing brighter. But now, asked Percy, the children led him back to the Biff's room. It's time for you to go home, said Biff. The magic did take Percy back into his world and took Biff, Chip, and Alina there again too. Percy was glad to be back. The other knights came running up to him. Where have you been, Percy? asked one. We have slayed that dragon right now. No, said Alina friendly. There's had to be another way. Don't be silly. Behind one of the knights, Alina went on. The dragon is a long way from home. It must be lost and confused. She glanced at Percy. You know what that feels, don't you? Percy nodded, remembering his own adventure. But we have to slay the dragon, said the other knight. That's what knights do. Percy shook his head. That's not true. We do the right thing. At that moment, Chip and Biff pointing at the sky. A shine-much dragon was approaching down. Maybe it's the other dragon's parent, said Alina. The dragon looked big enough to crush the castle walls with his claws. faculty could smash the castle tower into rubble. But the new dragon lifted his cast alone. He swarmed down grandly, shutting up the silver dragon with his front legs. Then, to fly his huge wings, he turned around and began to fly home towards the mountain. Anina watched until the dragon was no more than a bit of the dust. What an adventure! Now the adventure is really over, said Chip. I bet we'll go home soon. Percy smiled. Perhaps one day I will return to your land. I'd like to see Queen Gran again and try a mystery food known as cookies. The end.
Good job. 수고했어.